Tonight, 1 billion strangers will fall asleep, and almost all of them will watch the same 12 shows. You know them: falling, being chased, standing exposed in a crowd, your teeth crumbling in your hands. And they are not random. When sleep labs collect thousands of dreams from people who've never met, the same few keep rising to the top, again and again. You've had a few of them. By the end of your life, you'll have had almost all. So tonight, we do what no dream dictionary can. We tune through all 12, and I'll show you what each one is really saying. No fortune telling, just sleep labs, brain scans, and thousands of real dreamers. Because no dream is here to curse you, warn you, or predict your future. Every single one is your brain doing a specific, ancient job. Stay to the end, and you'll know exactly what that job is, and which channel plays for you. This is Night Mind, the late-night channel that plays inside your head, whether you remember it or not. By morning, you forget almost all of it. So before it fades, let's watch them properly. 12 dreams, 12 channels. Let's turn the dial. Channel 1, falling. You're walking, or standing at an edge, and then the floor just isn't there. You drop. Your stomach lifts into your chest, and your whole body jerks you awake, hard, a split second before you hit. If that has ever thrown you awake, here's the first fact of the night, and it's a relief. You are extraordinarily normal. In one of the largest dream surveys ever run, over 1,000 people, nearly 3 in 4, 74%, reported a falling dream. It's one of the most common dreams on the planet. So falling is not personal. It's practically built into the human operating system. The question is why the brain picks this exact image. And the answer researchers keep landing on is a single feeling. The sense that something in your waking life is slipping out of your control. A job that suddenly feels unstable. Money that won't stretch. A relationship where the ground keeps shifting. A plan you built your future on, quietly coming apart. Your dreaming brain doesn't do abstract very well. It can't draw financial insecurity. So it does the most literal thing it can. It takes the floor away. But here's where falling gets genuinely fascinating. Because there are actually 2 different things happening, and people confuse them constantly. That violent jerk that wakes you? Sleep scientists call it a hypnic jerk, and it's not really part of the dream at all. As you fall asleep, your muscles go limp. And one leading idea is that your brain, still half on guard, misreads that sudden relaxation as the body actually falling. So it fires an emergency jolt to catch you. Somewhere between 60 and 70% of people feel these jerks. Caffeine, stress, and exhaustion make them worse. So sometimes the falling image is your mind's story, and sometimes it's just your body slamming the brakes, and the story gets written around it. There's even an evolutionary hunch about why this alarm exists at all. Our distant ancestors slept up in trees. A brain that snapped the body awake at the feeling of falling was a brain whose owner didn't drop out of the branches in the night. Hundreds of thousands of years later, that ancient tripwire is still installed. It just fires now when your life feels unsteady instead of your branch. So when you fall in a dream, your brain isn't predicting a fall. It's pointing, as bluntly as it can, at wherever you feel like you're losing your grip. Channel 2, being chased. And this one wears a crown. Something is behind you. You don't always see it. But every cell in your body knows you have to run. And your legs won't work. Everything is thick and slow, like running through water, while the thing behind you doesn't slow down at all. In that same survey of over 1,000 people, being chased wasn't just common. It came out on top. More than 8 in 10 people, 82%, reported it. It is, as far as we can measure, the single most common dream humans have. So why would the most common dream on Earth be a nightmare? Why would evolution build us to rehearse fear night after night? That question has one of the most compelling answers in all of dream science. A Finnish neuroscientist named Antti Revonsuo gave it a name: the threat simulation theory. The idea is that dreaming is a flight simulator for danger, a safe, body-locked space where your brain can rehearse escaping threats over and over, so that when real danger comes, the wiring is already trained. And the brain seems built for exactly this. During dreaming sleep, your amygdala, the alarm center that runs fear, is actually more active than it is when you're awake. Your fear system runs the drill while your body lies perfectly still. The most haunting evidence comes from children who've lived through real danger. The more genuine threat a person has faced, the more their dreams fill with threat. The simulator turns up to match the world. But now here's the part that turns this dream from terror into a tool. Who or what is chasing you almost never matters. What matters is that you're running, because the chase is almost always about something you're avoiding while you're awake. A conversation you keep putting off, a decision you won't make, a grief, a truth, a fear you keep sprinting away from. And researchers who collect these dreams noticed something eerie. Very often, when the dreamer finally turns to look, the thing chasing them turns out to be a piece of themselves. An anger they won't admit, a part they've disowned, which explains the cruelest detail of this dream. You can't outrun it. No matter how fast you go, it keeps pace, because you're running from yourself. So the lesson this dream is built to teach is quietly enormous. Turn around in the dream, and it often stops. Turn around in your life, face the thing, and the dream very often stops coming back. Channel 3. Suddenly exposed. You're somewhere public. Work, school, a stage, and you realize, far too late, that you are not wearing what everyone else is wearing. You want the floor to swallow you. You are certain every single person can see. This dream ranks near the top of the common list too, and it has almost nothing to do with clothes. It's about being seen. Exposure dreams spike when part of you feels like a fraud, like people are one moment away from discovering you're not as competent, as calm, as put together as you've been pretending. Psychologists watch it appear before the exact moments you'd predict. A new job, a promotion, a first date, a big presentation. Any threshold where you're about to be watched and judged. Modern clinicians even have a phrase for the waking version of it: imposter feelings. And this dream is essentially imposter syndrome with the clothes taken off. But watch what happens inside the dream itself, because there's a gift buried in it. When you finally dare to look around at the crowd, most of the time, nobody's actually looking back. There's a reason this dream hits ambitious, high-achieving people the hardest. The more effort you pour into holding up an image, the more your sleeping brain rehearses the moment that image slips. So the dream isn't shame being dumped on you. It's your mind stress-testing a mask you've been holding up all day and quietly showing you how heavy it's gotten. And its punchline is usually true in waking life too. The spotlight you feel burning on you, most of it is coming from you. Channel 4. The test you didn't study for. You're in the exam. The clock is running down. And you realize, with a cold drop in your gut, that you haven't been to a single class all year. You can't find the room. Your pen won't write. The questions blur into a language you've never seen. And here's the twist that gives the whole thing away. Most people who have this dream finished school years, sometimes decades, ago. Grown adults have it the night before a big meeting. Because the dream was never about school. School was just the setting your brain filmed it in. Underneath, it's about being evaluated. That specific dread of being measured and found wanting, unprepared, exposed, out of time. So it comes back whenever life puts you on the spot. A deadline, a review, a moment where you have to prove you belong. And this is where the science gets genuinely surprising. In 2014, a French sleep researcher named Isabelle Arnolf did something clever. She studied over 700 students the night before a brutal medical entrance exam. 60% of them dreamed about the exam that night. And in nearly 80% of those dreams, something went wrong. They were late, they blanked, the paper made no sense. Now here's the punchline. The students who dreamed about the exam, even the ones whose dreams were disasters, scored better on the real thing than the students who didn't dream about it at all. The nightmare wasn't sabotage. It was preparation. The brain ran the catastrophe in advance, so the real morning felt survivable. So notice the detail you've been missing all these years. In the dream, you always show up. Even in the nightmare, some part of you still walked into that room. Channel 5. And if you've been to this channel before, you'll know this one intimately. Your teeth start to loosen. You press one with your tongue just to check, and it moves. And then, one by one, they drop into your hands, and you cannot make it stop. This one is special because unlike every other channel tonight, it seems to have two separate answers at the same time. The first is the one you'd expect. Teeth are the hardest, most permanent thing your body makes. So when they crumble, your brain is drawing that same feeling. Something solid, slipping. But the second answer is pure biology. Enormous numbers of people clench and grind their jaw all night without ever knowing it. And your sleeping brain feels that real pressure and writes it straight into the story. And in 2018, researchers actually tested this. They found teeth dreams lined up with sore, tense jaws in the morning far more than they lined up with stress, while dreams like falling lined up with stress instead. The mouth, it turns out, can write its own script. We gave this dream an entire broadcast of its own. If it's yours, that full episode is waiting for you the moment this one ends. 2 causes, 1 dream. Sometimes your mind is writing it, and sometimes, quite literally, your mouth is. Channel 6. And this is where it stops feeling like a dream at all. You need to run, or shout, or just lift your arm. And you can't. Your body flatly refuses to obey you. You try to scream. Nothing comes out. It is, without competition, the most helpless feeling a night can hand you. And here's the wild part. That paralysis is completely real, and it is actively protecting you. Every night, when you enter dreaming sleep, your brain deliberately switches off your muscles. Scientists call it REM atonia. And it isn't a glitch. It's essential. Because without it, you would physically act out your dreams. You'd kick, run, throw punches, leap out of bed. So your brainstem paralyzes you from the neck down every single night to keep you safe in the dream. The frozen dream happens when your mind wakes up a few seconds before that lock releases. For a moment, you are awake, aware, and genuinely paralyzed. And people have reported it in every culture on Earth. This has a name: sleep paralysis. In a review pooling over 36,000 people, about 8% of the general public had experienced it at least once, and among students, closer to 1 in 3. Many people even feel a crushing weight on their chest or sense a presence in the room. There's a whole terrifying science to that shadow, and it's getting its own broadcast on this channel soon. So the helplessness you felt was never a warning. It was a safety feature, one you happened to catch in the half-second act of switching off. We're halfway through the dial. 6 down, 6 to go. And by now, you might be feeling something under all of these. Every channel so far has been about the same few things: losing control, being seen, staying safe. Hold on to that, because it's the secret we're building toward. The second half of the dial turns away from raw fear toward something deeper: freedom, loss, love, and finding your way home. So let's keep going. Channel 7. And finally, a good one. You lift off the ground. No engine, no wings, no explanation. You simply decide to rise, and the world lets you. And for once, the dream doesn't wake you up terrified. It feels like the purest freedom you've had in years. Flying dreams tend to arrive when the exact opposite of every other channel is true. When you feel capable, light, on top of something that used to frighten you, right after you finally quit the job, left the thing that was crushing you, passed the test you'd been dreading for months. Your brain takes that rare feeling of lightness and gives it the most obvious picture it has: you, off the ground, above it all, free. And here's a tender detail. Children have flying dreams more than anyone, back when the whole world still felt possible. If you've quietly stopped having them as an adult, that itself is worth sitting with. There's also a doorway hidden in this one. Flying is one of the most common triggers for realizing mid-dream that you're dreaming. When researchers pooled 50 years of studies, they found more than half of all people, 55%, have had at least one lucid dream where they knew they were dreaming. About 1 in 5 have them regularly. So if you catch yourself flying, look at your hands. Realize where you are. That's the doorway. And there's a whole episode on how to walk through it on purpose. Channel 8, Deep Water. The water is rising, or a wave is building on the horizon, taller than the buildings. And you already know you can't reach high ground in time. It's about to break over you. And you feel it in your entire body a second before it hits. For thousands of years, across almost every culture, humans have tied water to emotion. And here's the thing. Modern sleep science quietly agrees. Water in dreams tends to track how much emotion you're carrying and whether it's about to spill over the edge. A calm lake is one thing. A flood is another. A tidal wave is a feeling that has grown far, far too big to hold in one pair of hands. Grief you never cried out. Stress you keep swallowing at work. Anger with absolutely nowhere to go. And there's real comfort in what the lab has found here. A Berkeley sleep scientist named Matthew Walker calls dreaming sleep overnight therapy. In his studies, during dreaming sleep, the brain replays the day's emotional moments. But it does it while switching off its main stress chemical. So you wake up keeping the memory, but with the sharpest sting stripped away. That's why a stormy water dream can leave you feeling strangely clearer the next morning. The wave broke in the night, so you didn't have to carry it at full force into your day. So watch which way the water moves. Rising water is a feeling building. Calm water is a feeling you've finally made peace with. Channel 9, the one that frightens people most of all, death. Sometimes it's your own. More often, it's someone you love. And you wake with your heart in pieces, convinced it was a sign, a premonition, a warning you have to act on. So let me say this as plainly as I can, because it matters more than anything else on this channel. Death dreams are almost never about actual death. Not yours, not theirs. In the language your dreaming brain speaks, death means one thing far more often than any other. Change. An ending. A chapter of your life quietly closing so the next one can open. Dreaming that someone you love dies is usually not a prophecy about them. It's your fear of losing them. To distance, to time, to growing up, to a relationship that's changing shape faster than you're ready for. And when you dream of your own death, it's often the opposite of frightening. It's your mind rehearsing a transformation. The end of an old version of you, so a new one can begin. But there's a tender version of this dream that deserves real care. After we lose someone, many of us dream of them. Alive, whole, well. So vividly it feels less like a dream and more like a visit. And this is common. Studies of grieving people find that somewhere between half and 3/4 of them dream of the person they lost. And in those dreams, the person is almost always healthy, peaceful, free of whatever took them. In one study of grieving families, 60% said these dreams genuinely helped them heal. More acceptance, more comfort, a chance to say the thing they never got to say. Grief researchers don't call these dreams a haunting. They call them part of mourning. The mind gently rehearsing a world where the person is gone, but the love very much isn't. And one last strange fact. People almost never actually die in their own dreams. Right at the edge, the brain wakes you. It won't even let you watch the ending. So if you dreamed of losing someone, please hear this. It wasn't a warning. It was love, worried about change. Channel 10, someone from your past. An ex. A first love. Someone you genuinely haven't thought about in years, suddenly as vivid and close as the day you knew them. You wake up shaken, maybe guilty, maybe quietly asking the question that ruins the morning. Do I still want them back? And almost always, the honest answer is no. Understanding why is one of the most useful things you'll learn about your own mind tonight. While you sleep, one of your brain's main jobs is sorting memory, deciding what to keep, what to let fade, what to file where. And it naturally pulls up the strongest files you have. Old relationships are some of the most emotionally charged memories a person ever makes. So the dream usually isn't about the person at all. It's about what that person represented to you. Being chosen, feeling young, a version of you that felt free or wanted or completely new. The dream is reaching for that feeling and grabbing the nearest face attached to it. It's also why they surface so long after it's over. First loves and painful breakups get burned in deep, so your brain keeps reaching for them when it's reorganizing the emotional shelves at night. So here's the reframe that sets people free. Usually, you don't miss them. You miss who you got to be when they were around. Ask yourself what that feeling actually was. Free, alive, chosen. Because that feeling might be the thing your current life is quietly missing. Channel 11. Betrayal. Your partner is with someone else. Or you were the one betraying them. Either way, you wake with a knot in your stomach that feels less like a dream and more like evidence. And it can quietly poison an entire morning. A coldness you can't explain over something that never happened. So here is the truth about cheating dreams. They are almost never a prediction. They are almost never a hidden memory. They are a mirror. A dream where your partner cheats is usually your own insecurity, handed a face. A fear of not being enough, of being left, of not being truly seen by the person closest to you. It tends to show up when connection has thinned, when attention has drifted to screens and schedules, when you're not quite sure where you stand anymore. And there's a real study here worth knowing. A researcher named Dylan Selterman had couples keep dream diaries for 2 weeks. The people who dreamed of jealousy or infidelity went on to report more conflict and less closeness with their partner the very next day. Even when nothing had actually happened, the dream had primed the fight. Which means the single worst thing you can do is wake up and quietly hold a dream against someone. It felt real. It wasn't. And treating it as real can create the exact distance it was warning you about. So the healthy move is the opposite of the instinct. Not accuse. Connect. The dream is almost always pointing at a gap that closeness, not suspicion, can fill. Channel 12. The last one on the dial. Lost. You're trying to get somewhere. Home, a room, a place you know by heart. But every hallway opens onto another hallway. The streets rearrange behind you. The map in your hand makes no sense. And the harder you try, the more hopelessly turned around you get. This dream almost always arrives during one very specific season of a life. A transition. When you're caught between two versions of yourself and you honestly don't know which way to walk. Leaving a career. Ending or starting a relationship, moving cities, becoming a parent. Any moment where the old map of your life stops matching the ground under your feet. Your brain takes that uncertainty and hands you the most honest picture of it there is. You. Somewhere unfamiliar, with no directions, trying every door. And notice what's really happening in that dream. The old map stopped working, which is exactly what a real life transition feels like in the gap before the new map exists. But look closer at what you're doing in the dream. You never stop searching. You keep trying doors, keep turning corners, keep going. That's not weakness. That's the most important part of you. So this dream isn't telling you you're doomed to wander. It's telling you you're in the middle of drawing a new map and you haven't given up. So that's all 12. And now for the thing a dream dictionary will never tell you. The secret we've been building towards since Channel 1. Look at them all together. Falling. Chased. Exposed. Tested. Teeth. Frozen. flying, drowning, death, the X, betrayal, lost. 12 completely different shows. But it was only ever one channel, one machine running the same job behind every image. Sleep scientists even have a name for this idea. They call it the continuity hypothesis. And it's one of the most well-supported ideas in the whole field. It says something almost boringly simple and quietly profound. Your dreams are made of your waking life, the things that occupy your days, your worries, your loves, your unfinished business, are the raw material your sleeping brain builds with. And it pays the most attention to 3 feelings above all: where you feel out of control, where you feel unsafe, and where you feel unseen. Watch how cleanly all 12 sort into those 3. Losing control, falling, teeth, lost, feeling unsafe, chased, frozen, drowning, death, feeling exposed or unsure of love, naked, the exam, the X, betrayal, and flying. The one channel that only plays when, for once, none of those are true. Then your brain dresses that raw feeling in whatever costume will make you actually remember it by morning. Teeth, a wave, a stranger, a door. The dreams look wildly, endlessly different, but the job underneath every one of them is always the same. So here's exactly what to do with all of this. It costs you about 30 seconds a day, and it changes how you understand yourself. Keep a notebook by your bed. The second you wake, before you check your phone, before you even move, write down 3 tiny things. 1, the dream in a few words. 2, the feeling it left behind. 3, what in your life right now that feeling might actually be about. That's it. 3 lines. Don't interpret. Don't analyze. Just catch it before it evaporates, because it will within minutes of waking. Do it for 1 week, and something genuinely powerful happens. You stop seeing a string of random nightmares. You start seeing a pattern, the same core feeling, showing up in a dozen different costumes, pointing at the same 1 or 2 unfinished things in your life. And a feeling you can finally name is a feeling that runs your life a great deal less. That's the whole trick. You never had to decode every symbol. You just had to notice what your mind keeps trying, night after night, to finish. So no, you're not being warned. You're not being cursed. You're not being visited by anything but your own mind. And you are absolutely, provably not alone. Every one of these 12 dreams is your brain working the night shift on your side. It watched your entire day. It felt everything you didn't have the time or the safety to feel. And it turned all of it into a story vivid enough to finally reach you. Now I genuinely want to hear from you. Which channel plays the most in your head? Falling? Chased? The one you didn't expect to recognize? Tell me in the comments, and tell me which one you want the full broadcast on next. I read every single one. And if channel 1 got you, that jolt awake as you fall, there's an entire episode on exactly why your body does that. It's playing on this channel right now. Sleep well, stay curious, and meet me back here tomorrow night. Same room, same channel. This is Nightmind signing off.